So how do I manage my time as a real estate agent? For this vlog, I actually audited some of the people that gave me feedback on the last one and asked about what was their biggest question that I could address in this one. And unequivocally, I think it's people trying to manage work-life balance, especially in the real estate field. So I guess I'll give some snapshots into what I do on a daily basis to keep the business growing, to keep learning, and keep my clients happy. I definitely think the number one thing that I do from a time management perspective actually starts the day before. So planning your day. So making a list of the critical things I have to do and putting them in my calendar allows me to operate at a speed that I don't think I ever did before I developed that habit. Because I don't even have to think about what I'm doing. I just follow the calendar. All of my notes for my meetings is in the calendar, and it saves me a boatload of time. Even to the point where like the address of where I'm going is in the calendar. My car automatically picks it up and then just takes me to the locations that I have to go to so I can just focus on the task at hand. To give you a snapshot of what I'm doing today, I'm actually going to appraise a commercial building. Commercial real estate is what I actually started doing when I got into real estate. It's still a major part of my business and I love it. So I'm going to do an appraisal. The tenant is actually looking to negotiate an acquisition with the owner of the building and has been in discussions, but truthfully, landlords of commercial properties often have a lot more information and are a lot more experienced in dealing with negotiations than tenants are. So they'll often bring us in to make sure that they feel like they have representation. I would say not having representation is one of the easiest ways to actually pay the worst price and make mistakes. So when we go to appraisals like this, we don't have commission breath. I'm not going in there just trying to get a mandate signed. I'm desperate to inject myself in the transaction. To the point of my last vlog, if you haven't watched it, I talk about going in and listening to the actual client. What problems do they have and can I actually help them solve it? So that's what this meeting is. Then I'm going to do an appraisal for a client. I actually sold their house about a year and a half ago in Old South. They built another one in OEV. They have a wicked business, amazing people, great eye for design. They live in a newer home, but I think they're looking at making a move again, which is wild. But I think they're great clients, and I understand it may not be wild because and life changes, right? And the reason that they may be moving what it costs them to build, it may make sense that they take that capital out and put it in something else. So really excited to see that property. In between that, I'm gonna have some conversations with some team members about some partnership deals, some things that we're working on. Then heading to the office. Then I have a super interesting meeting at 2:30. The London Free Press is coming to do a story on one of my listings. It is one of the most historic homes in Woodfield. There was a flyer on the third floor. It's listed for $600,000, but it looks like a $2 million property. So we're going to do a walkthrough with the architect and the owner of the property and the gentleman from the London Free Press. Interested to see the angle that they're going to take on that story, but press is always a good thing. I think it'll increase exposure. We already have 24 showings, I think, on that property. And it's only been listed for 2 days. So just an indication of for values that. Actually, I'll address that really quickly. From a pricing strategy perspective, a lot of times people think real estate agents just underpriced to create multiples and drive the market up. In this instance, I had a discussion with the seller, like there was significant fire damage on the third floor, and we talked about what it would take to renovate that property and what it's worth after renovation. And we had a discussion around the list price, and I could have probably listed it for $750, maybe $900, but he's not in a position where he wants to wait. So we listed it for $600. He said he's prepared to take $600 if that's what the market will yield. I think the value is going to be higher than that. At the face of the market, sure, maybe it's worth $600 to $750. But to the right buyer, I could see it being worth up to $1 million, maybe more. Who knows? Only the market will determine that. So list price is a marketing tool, and the amount of showings that we have on that property really is an indication of that. But I do think having a transparent offer process where everybody feels valued is incredibly important. People probably assume I'm going to double end that deal, sell it to one of my own clients, and all the other agents are going to waste their time. I'm actively not taking leads or buyers on that property. I'm representing the seller. All of the agents and the leads are getting the exact same information. The offer date structure is set. How we do our multiple offers is very different than your backdoor Uncle Jimmy real estate agents at the consumer estate. We set a date. We allow everybody time to drop off their offers. They can deliver them in person. I'll open them up in an envelope in front of the sellers if they want. Everybody will get about 2 hours for revisions once the final offer counts in. And then if any offers are super close, we'll have that last conversation with all of those parties, give them one more kick at the can. and then the seller will pick their offer. So very transparent, gives everybody the ability to feel like they know the ground rules. And I'll do an entire vlog one day on the 4 stories of real estate. I've been in some shady situations with shady listing agents that magically their buyers come to the exact same price that were tabled in front of them. And they're the reasons why consumers hate us. So I'm sure I've lost some deals and some money in the short term, not being willing to throw my ethics under the bus like that, but I also think it's bringing me the right clients. Anyways, that's the day, that's the structure. I already know it because it's in my calendar. Now I'm gonna have a meeting with my executive assistant. I go over anything I need to brain dump. She manages my inbox and my calendar so I can stay in my zone of genius. Excited for that meeting. I'm gonna wait like 5 minutes till I get to Park Hill because I'm in the Bronco. I hope it's not too loud for the vlog. Let me know how the audio is. I would love to hear it. But I'll have that meeting with RR once I'm at Park Hill. Something saves in me. So I had an absolute blast at both of those meetings. The first meeting at the commercial property, we got a high level of this company and what they're looking to do. I mean, they've been in business for a very long time, incredible business owners, and I love working with good people. So sat down to compile the notes with my commercial team lead and had a discussion around strategy. Then I just went to another property and did an appraisal, and oh my gosh, I can't believe what these people did to that house and that property. Obviously you can see I'm on Queen Street in London, Ontario. I'm looking at One London Place, just cruising around, and I am super pumped. It's a very unique home. I specialize in unique properties, both commercial and residential. So I'm gonna have to do a pricing report for them and let them know what I think the range of value is for that property so they can make decisions in their life. And from a time management perspective, not over-promising is key. So I told them typically 24 to 48 hours, depending on how timely or urgent it is for them, is when I will turn around a pricing report. So I do it right. In a previous vlog, I talked about how I don't think it's ethical for me to just show up and tell people what I think their house is worth when I've never seen it and I don't know what their plan is. So this is that in action. One massive time saver hack is I use Fireflies, which is AI, to take notes when I'm at meetings. I tell them I'm using it, I record the conversation as I'm walking around the house. It's actually doing an output for me as we speak that when I get to the office will give me a complete breakdown and action steps on that property. So all of the detail about the millwork, the porcelain countertops, you know, the kitchen, who did the kitchen company, the lot sizes, what's important to them, timelines, it's all gonna be in my inbox when I get to the office. So I think if you do a little bit of, so the moral of the story being, if you do a little bit of planning ahead of time, it can save you a lot of time in the long run. The only thing my competition will say about me is that I am too busy. Meanwhile, I pick up my phone probably faster than they do and do more in less time. And in this vlog, I'm showing you exactly how. I hope you're enjoying it. As a sidebar, welcome to Richmond Row, Plaza Sushi. We did that lease, we sold that building. Oh boy, there's my old stomping grounds. So if you know London, Ontario, and you know Jim Bob's and Cool's, jump in the comments and let me know. I spent close to a decade working at both of those places, back when it was Jim Bob Ray's and Joe Cool's. And I used to live up there too, actually, Central and Richmond Street, right above the Starbucks. I lived with my boy Rob Bennington, and Jay Doyle lived across the way from us. There's Delilah's, Warehouse, Barney's. Prime Real Estate's original office was actually down Fall Mall Street. We had the best net effective lease in the city. $2 a square foot is what we were paying. Good times. 695 Richmond. If you know London, you know what I'm saying. But I have like a Navy SEAL team underneath me. So the perfect funnel is a landing page where I'm a buyer and I'm like, oh, I want to work with the investment team. I want to work with the farm team. I want to work with the residential team. And then it goes to a separate landing page, qualifying questions, send me qualified leads. My team, we use Follow Boss as our CRM, very action plan oriented, very quick at response rates and converting those leads into qualified buyers and sellers. So that's kind of my background. So in Canada, we have things called vows that are really important where we can share sold data. And I think if they can't do that for me, I'm probably gonna have to build a separate site that is a vow integrated website, because I would like to, this is a lofty statement. The Zillow of Canada right now is House Sigma.
and it's just a brokerage. They built a really good UI for finding properties and sharing sold data. I have the ability to do that, but I need probably a partner to help me get there. But that's everything. That's my brain dump. Yeah, my question was, so if I'm team lead, I have my website and my page. My agents are always wanting their own kind of branded website pages. Is that something you guys offer within the package, or is it in addition to the package? Oh, you're frozen. Okay, yeah. And it's like their face, their name, and their listings. Like, it'd be pretty basic, right? Okay, perfect. That's what I want to know.
You're gonna be able to get in. It's a login scenario.
He made the vlog. Ryan made the vlog. Sutherland made the vlog.
I was making sure I didn't have teeth.
Talking about making good use of time. Our team actually runs a team calendar, meaning all of our events are synced between all of our iPhones. So when we're driving around appointment to appointment, our calendars will naturally pick up, oh, I'm just around the corner from this broker open. It allows the team to support each other in different ways. We have a wicked new listing on our Ego Trace. You obviously saw this one if you were in the last vlog when I taught you how we do listing videos. So now it's actually live. It's on the market. We're doing a broker open house and I'm heading to the office. No, I think you did a great job describing it, right? Because I think the intangible is the emotion and what the city of London kind of means to you, like given you've been in the industry for a while, you know, the effort you put into the restaurant industry and the hospitality side. And I think it's worth a conversation. Like if we're talking a range that, you know, I do think makes sense, then I think we should just meet for a meeting at the building, do a walkthrough. You can get to know my guy a little bit and he can talk about the vision of what he wants to do there. And if, like I said, if the deal makes sense, great. If it doesn't, then you can close the loop one way or another. And at least I think it's a unique opportunity where we do have somebody that I think is the ideal candidate that isn't like a lot of the other people that have called you before, right? So I think it'd be worth the conversation. Sounds like a plan. If I don't hear from you, I'll give you a shout next week, but you take your time and we'll go from there. I'll give you a good idea of these guys' timelines just so you have that as you're thinking. So they're in a large floor plate lease in one of the very nice towers in London right now. Their options are buy a building, renovate it, make that their office / event space, which I think could be incredible. Or we'll have to find another opportunity for them. I know they have a bit of a timeline, so if we could catch you maybe before you leave just for that quick face-to-face, that would be ideal, but I'll leave it to you to call me back. Okay, thanks. Take care. Come sit down here for a second. Have you looked at 496 Waterloo?
Well, just from us listing it and doing all the things, but other than that, not really.
Okay, so your homework is going to be to look at the listing and then go into follow us. I can't find this, my filters. I'm going to tell you, go grab your pen and paper actually. You're going to need to take some notes.
Okay.
Just don't yet, right? Because I would tell them, like, what I'll tell them is there's interest. Obviously, she wants to sell, but she'd prefer to sell the building and the business, right?
Yeah.
And we've been working with somebody for months right now that seems like a great candidate for it. So if you guys have investors and want to come in and just buy everything, then I think you're a much better chance of doing a deal on the whole thing. So that's how I'll treat it. And then see, because I think that would be, like, we talked about that last time. If somebody came in and said, I'll buy the business and the building, it makes it a lot easier, right? So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So I'm sending you a pile of leads. Go into email templates and follow boss. Read the fire email template for 496 Waterloo. Essentially, my guys bought it. They were renovating it. I consulted on it for 3 years. I was going to sell it for like $2 million. Fire happened on the 3rd floor. If you read the fire report, it essentially says that in the report that I'm sending you, there'll be some reference to some mold that they saw. They sprayed it down, they cleaned it up, but it's being sold as is where it is.
Okay.
600 grand is what I listed it at. I'm expecting it to sell between 600 and 900 because I could put 500 into it. If I bought it for 600, I put 500 into it. It's 1.1-ish, and it's probably worth 1.6. So for investors, what your job is going to do is call, qualify, do the showings, and then if they're not the right buyers for this property, sell them something else. It's probably going to be too big of a project for some people to take on.
Yeah.
If you do get a real investor that really wants to dig into this, I would suggest partnering up with maybe a more senior investment agent to learn from them on it. I can't help you because I'm on the listing side of it, but this is a crazy lead generator, so I'm going to put you on the rotation for leads for this.
Okay.
Get back to them quickly.
Okay.
Give them the story, send them the fire email template, and then book the showing.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
What up, Fam Jam? I see you. Tiki-takis. I'm at one of our investment properties. About to do a pile of work and minesweep. Oh snap, I got a call. I'm supposed to be on.
Totally good. What's up, Justin?
I had
a
client's check bounced. I'm at a investment property we own and they had an issue with the septic. So everything all happens at once.
I know, it always does.
Yeah, I feel bad. I was like, oh, I'm okay if you kick me out of here. If you got to stick to your time block, I'm okay with that too. I was gonna say to you, I was waiting for the call, but like I've really enjoyed the increase in kind of, it feels like speed and agility in what I'm doing, right? Like I feel kind of, my clothes feel a little bit tighter. I've gotten bigger, bulkier, and like definitely stronger. Not like fat by any means, but just generally like more of a tank. And I feel like that's a great progression because I was like just maintaining with my hip, right? I wasn't really gaining anything. Because it was so difficult for me, and I'm like, man, like it's amazing how my leg muscles are now triggering growth in the rest of my body, and I feel like I'm slowly getting to proper hinge, proper, you know, front knee over toe, whatever, and I feel like that agility piece of like mobility, I want to be, you know, probably a little bit leaner, faster, more agile, but longevity, right? Mobility, good proper movement. My back problems have gone away. I haven't had any of those at all. And I think that's all like a testament to the programming that you've done to address some of those issues. But I'm in alignment with what you just said 100%. Yeah, to be honest with you, I just don't have the capacity to sit down and do any more tracking. Like every second of my day is like, I barely have time to unwind. So I don't think, like, I was thinking about it last night. I rewatched the video and I'm like, I say yes to everything. And then I don't always follow through. So I'm like, I'm gonna say no from the standpoint that I do my own tracking. So I have Strides as an app that I use. And did I eat well? Did I do my cold plunges? Did I do this, that, and the other? And I feel like I have that accountability piece already kind of wired in. And from a dietary perspective, I feel in a very different place with my mind, body, food relationship than when we started, because it was a big struggle for me. It was one of the biggest that I told you, that I'm like, man, I got to figure out the binging. Now I have done nights where I've like, you know, back and forth and binged eat, but it's funny, it's not, I don't hate myself for it as much anymore because I recognize what I can do to get back to baseline. And I do, it's the same thing, like it's the low carb fasting cycle that really is detrimental. If it's good food quality hitting my macros, I feel great and I look great, right? So, you know, I'm okay on the dietary side for right now. I really like being outdoors. So if I can think about what my conditioning options are, hey, you can do, I hate burpees. Everybody hates burpees. You can do conditioning like, you know, these rounds of burpees, push-ups, whatever, or you can go do some sprints at the beach or jump in the water, sprint, swim, bike. Like if I can incorporate outdoors, I haven't done it myself because I'm not sure how to hit the programming rhythm with those activities. But if I could see it, then I know I could self-program and be like, okay, I can go sprint and swim for whatever. Because I find swimming is very helpful for me, for my body fat percentage and my general mobility. It's just, I don't have access to water, so why wouldn't I, right? So one of the reasons I come to my properties to do work is increase exposure. So I'll go live on TikTok, I'll go live on Instagram after this and answer some real estate questions, get in front of hundreds and thousands of people to expose them to properties that are for sale. This property is at 10109 Jennison in Grand Bend, Ontario. 1.7 acre property, you wouldn't even know it was here. It's lakefront, riverfront, $2.1 million. They're actually doing the septic right now behind me. They're putting in brand new risers, doing a pump. And I probably got more exposure for my property in that 2-minute little pitch than most agents would just sitting on MLS. That's why we do what we do. A property that I'm selling, I actually own it as well, that is fronting onto Wee Lakes. And we are doing a master shot with my Mavic, or no, not Mavic, sorry, it is a Mini Pro 4. What up, Miller? Nice to see you. Thanks everybody for being here. If you like the view, double tap and let me know. Oh, there's the drone. Okay, didn't hit the trees. That's a good sign. So I am streaming obviously on TikTok here, answering any real estate questions. I'm gonna go inside and do some more work. I just wanted to get this content first. And I'm also shooting the vlog. So if you like the behind the scenes, write down my name, go to YouTube. I've been shooting vlogs, filming behind the scenes conversations with my team, with clients that obviously want to be on camera, and showing all of the stuff agents never actually show you.
Yeah, and I said to him, I'm like, is it worth like you putting it? Because if I put it on the market at 9 and we don't get 1 million showings and multiple offers, this could be a year sale, right? Like the market sucks right now. And he's like, no. He's like, put it up for 6 and I'll deal with whatever comes. And we've had.
Yeah, I think you're going to be you're going to be into a bidding war on it.
Well, yeah, we've had 40 showings in 2 days. So, and the London Free Press did a story on it yesterday. She's killing it actually. She did a showing last night, and like it's got a pretty cool waterfall feature, like a lit up pool and everything too. So she did that last night.
Inside the architect work, like the bricks, the wood, everything is pretty incredible, man.
Yeah. So
when do you think like an offer or like a viewing or something would close on this?
they can close whenever they want. We're taking offers next Tuesday. You got that thing for the mold report for the email template, right?
Yeah, I created it. Like I said, you mentioned you wanted to have a separate email template for that one.
Yeah, separate, because I'm not sending it to everybody. It's only for certain people.
Yeah, I have it in follow-up post. Just search 496 Waterloo mold.
Monroe, yeah, you're the best. You've been very helpful. I value you very much, and I think that you're a great person and employee, and you're a family member at Prime. I don't consider you to be an employee. I think over communication is absolutely key in real estate. I think talking to your team members, laying the groundwork, looking at ways to save time is also a massive hack when it comes to time management. We do what's called the Prime Academy every Tuesday. All our agents come into the office. We dive deep into topics. We've been heavy into the sales process. Another idea for a vlog. If you want that, let me know in the comments. And I just talked to Kyle Henry, who's one of my head sales guys, about what does the programming look like for the next 8 weeks. Like we've crushed sales training for like 6 to 8 weeks. Let's take a break. Let's go heavy on maybe marketing, social media, but also let's look at the battle rhythm for the entire year. We're gonna get into business planning in the fall, so maybe we'll build that into the cadence. The reason we do all this is actually to save the team time, because then when they pull up their app on the team calendar, they know exactly what's happening at training and to be prepared for it. So yeah, taking a little bit of time to slow down allows you to move faster.